You know that feeling, right? That sort of soft, fuzzy, comforting thing.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a favorite teddy bear from childhood, or maybe one sitting on your desk right now. We're talking plush toys.
Yeah, the simple ones.
Exactly. And you might think, okay, cute, cuddly, maybe for kids. But what if I told you they're actually part of this, well, frankly, massive global industry, kind of quietly taking over a big slice of retail?
It's surprisingly big, isn't it?
It really is. So today we're doing a deep dive into this unexpectedly dynamic world, the global plush toy market.
Okay.
Our mission here is pretty simple. Cut through the usual stuff, give you a shortcut to understanding just how big this is, the trends, the growth forecasts. We're drawing on recent market research from cognitive market research. Let's get into what these numbers actually tell us.
Sounds good.
Honestly, when I first saw the figures, I was pretty taken aback. You expect toys generally to be big business, sure, but plush toys specifically, this is impressive stuff. Globally, sales revenue back in 2021, it was already nudging 11 billion US dollars, almost 11 billion.
That's a huge baseline.
And it's not just the size, it's the growth. It looks really robust, very consistent. Projections show it climbing past $13 billion by 2025.
Okay.
And then, get this, jumping again to over $20.5 billion by 2033.
Wow.
Yeah, that works out to a consistent global compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 5.44% over a decade.
And that 5.44% CAGR, it's really fascinating. On a base that large, nearly $11 billion, it's not just small steps. It really signals this deeply rooted and growing consumer demand. It tells you this isn't some fleeting trend. It feels more like a fundamental connection people have showing up in the economy.
Right.
I mean, just try to picture the sheer volume of plush toys that represents. Sold, gifted, probably sitting on beds right now, all across the world. It's quite a statement about their appeal, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It really is. So, okay, where's all this growth happening? Let's maybe unpack the regions a bit, see who's driving this. North America right now is leading the pack. Back in 2021, their sales were over $4.5 billion.
Big numbers.
Yeah, and it's projected to keep climbing strongly. They're heading towards nearly $8 billion by 2033. Their own CAGR is solid too, almost 5%.
Still very healthy growth for a mature market.
Definitely. And if we drill down a bit within North America, the U.S. is, well, no big surprise, the largest single country market.
Makes sense.
Over $3 billion in 2021 revenue alone. That's expected to grow to over $5 billion by 2033. Canada is also showing strong growth, looking to nearly double its sales in that time frame.
Right.
But here's something that caught my eye. Mexico starts from a smaller base, naturally.
Right.
But its growth rate, an impressive TGR of almost 6.8%. That's really moving.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's those kinds of variations within a big established region like North America that really tell a story.
How?
Well, the U.S. obviously brings the huge revenue numbers.
Right.
But Mexico's much higher growth rate, that 6.8%, it suggests something more dynamic might be happening there. Maybe a faster expanding consumer base, perhaps rising incomes making these more accessible. It makes you wonder, what's the specific mix of things? Cultural factors,
Yeah.
retail changes. Something's clearly fueling that faster growth south of the border.
Good point. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe, not far behind North America, holds that number 2 spot.
Solidly in second, yeah.
Europe's market was just under $3 billion in 2021, and it's projected to grow to over $5.4 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of just over 5%. Still very healthy.
Consistently growing them.
Yeah, and within Europe, you see some leaders pushing that average up. The UK, for instance, showing really strong growth, over 6% CAGR. Their sales are expected to more than double by 2033.
Okay, the UK is strong.
Germany and France are also doing well, both with KGRs over 5%, consistent contributors. But it's not quite the same story everywhere in Europe. You see some differences. Countries like Italy, Spain, even Luxembourg. Their growth is a bit more modest, more in the 3% to 4% CAGR range.
And that's what's fascinating there, isn't it? Think about why you see those differences across what we often think of as, established, mature European economy.
Yeah, why the variation?
Exactly. It's easy to just lump Europe together. But these numbers suggest different things are at play. Maybe cultural preferences for certain types of toys, different economic conditions affecting spending, maybe even how quickly trends, like licensed characters, catch on.
Interesting.
The data tells us what's happening, but it really pushes you to ask why these established markets are behaving differently. What's unique about the UK versus, say, Spain? in the plush toy world?
Yeah, good question. Okay, now, here's where it gets, as you said, really interesting. If you're looking for the kind of the future growth engines,
Right, faster movers.
Asia Pacific and South America, they're showing some of the fastest expansion rates anywhere.
Okay, let's hear it.
Asia Pacific
Hmm.
generated over $2 billion back in 2021, projected to more than double, hitting over $4.5 billion by 2033, and its overall CAGR, almost 6.7%. Really high.
That's strong regional average.
Within that, China is obviously a huge player, over 7% CAGR there, but the real standout, the one making headlines, India.
India, yes.
It has the highest regional KGR by far, an incredible 8.5%.
Wow, 8.5. That's booming.
Absolutely booming. Sales there are projected to nearly triple between 2021 and 2033. Japan, of course, still a very substantial market, growing consistently too, just under 5% CAGR.
Okay, so India is the one to watch there, clearly.
Definitely. Then you've got South America, another region showing significant expansion.
Right.
Market size there was approaching $600 million in 2021, expected to nearly double, reaching over $1.1 billion by 2033. Strong CAGR there too, almost 5.7%.
Solid growth across the board.
Brazil leads the region in terms of size, but look at Colombia, another standout growth story, exhibiting a really notable CAGR of 7.25%. Revenues there set to more than double.
Colombia, too, interesting. You know, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, these much higher growth rates in places like India, China, Colombia, Brazil, it really highlights that story of emerging markets, doesn't it?
How so?
It's about growing consumer bases, rising disposable incomes. It's not just existing demand growing slightly, it's large numbers of new consumers entering the market for these kinds of goods.
Right, new buyers coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As economies develop, things like plush toys become more accessible, more desired, for comfort, for play, for gifts. This feels like a key piece of the global expansion puzzle. These regions are fueling a lot of that overall growth.
That makes sense. So what does all this mean for regions maybe we don't hear about as much in this context, like the Middle East and Africa? Are they part of this growth?
They definitely are. They're contributing, even if the market size is smaller currently.
Okay.
Take the Middle East. Its plush toy market was valued around $435 million in 2021, but it's projected to nearly double, too, hitting over $880 million by 2033. That's a very healthy CAGR, over 6%.
Pretty strong, yeah.
And within that, Saudi Arabia is showing particularly strong growth, over 6.7% CAGR. The UAE is solid, too, over 6%.
Okay, so the Middle East is growing well. What about Africa?
Africa, yeah, starts from a smaller base again, just over $300 million in 2021, but is also projected to grow significantly, reaching over $550 million by 2033. The KGR there is around 4.5%.
Still growing steadily then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Key countries driving that include Nigeria, with nearly 5% CAGR, and South Africa, a bit lower but still growing. What's really striking, I think, is that even in these regions with, currently smaller market shares, you still see this consistent, often quite robust growth.
Yeah, it seems to be everywhere.
It really highlights how globally appealing these things are, plush toys. It's not just a Western thing or an Eastern thing or tied to one economic level. There seems to be this universal aspect to why people buy them.
A sort of shared human thing.
Yeah, maybe a need for comfort, connection, something that crosses cultural and economic lines. It paints a picture of this product just steadily finding its place everywhere.
It's fascinating. Which leads to the question, right, why? What's fundamentally driving this consistent, widespread global growth for what is, let's face it, a pretty simple product? What's the engine behind this quiet boom?
Well, the research from Cognitive Market Research points to a couple of key things, and they are pretty insightful. First, it's about evolving consumer preferences.
Okay.
It's not just strictly kids' toys anymore, though that's still huge, obviously. We're seeing a big rise in adult collectors, people collecting specific lines, maybe nostalgia characters.
I like the collector's market.
Exactly. And licensed characters are massive. Think anime, video games, movie franchises turned into plush form. Plus, there's innovation, plush toys, designed for specific needs, like maybe therapeutic uses, sensory toys.
Right, different types emerging.
And things like sustainable materials, even some basic tech integration sometimes. So the product itself is evolving.
Okay, so product evolution is one thing. What else?
The second big driver is the global trend of gifting. It seems pretty universal.
Yeah. Gifts.
Plush toys are just such a go-to gift. For birthdays, holidays, get well soon, congratulations, across all ages, really. They're relatively affordable, they carry emotional weight, people instantly get them.
True, they're an easy, safe gift, often.
Exactly. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it suggests that Even with our lives getting more digital, more screen-based,
Mm.
the emotional value, the tactile comfort of a plush toy makes them incredibly resilient. They meet a need that maybe screens don't. Maybe in a complex world, people are drawn to something simple, soft, and tangible.
Yeah, maybe that's it. A need for something real to hold on to.
Could be. It seems to work across all these different cultures and economies we've looked at.
Okay, so wrapping this up then. We dove into the global plush toy market and wow, found a lot more than just cuddly toys.
Definitely more than meets the eye.
We're talking an industry close to $11 billion now, heading towards over $20 billion by 2033, growing consistently globally at over 5% a year.
Those are the big takeaways on scale and growth.
We saw North America leading in sheer size, but those really fast growth rates in Asia Pacific, especially India's, what was it, 8.5%?
8.5%.
And strong growth in South America, too. Places like Colombia really standing out. They seem to be the engines for future expansion.
And it seems fueled by, well, by us changing what we want from them. Adult collectors, licensed stuff, plus innovation in the toys themselves, and that ever-present, powerful culture of gifting.
Yeah. Proves they're surprisingly resilient economically and just universally liked.
It seems so.
Which leaves you with a final thought, maybe. In this world that's increasingly digital, right? VR, AI, everything moving online. What does it tell us that something as simple as fundamentally tactile as a plush toy isn't just surviving, but actually thriving and growing globally?
Hmm.
What does that say about, I don't know, basic human needs? Is it comfort, companionship, just expressing emotion in a tangible way?
It's a great question. What deep need does it continue to fill so effectively across the globe?
Yeah, something to ponder. Maybe next time you see one of those fluffy companions, it represents a lot more business than you might think.